Calculating nutrient-balanced application rates of manure and supplemental fertilizers is one of the core skills in nutrient management planning and agronomy. When we make these calculations, we have to take into account the nutrient requirements of the crop to be grown and any sources of fertility that will be available to the crop, regardless of the manure application, which includes things like starter fertilizer to be used, as well as credits from previous legumes in rotation and credits from any previous manure history. Then we have to determine the nutrients that will be available in the manure source to be used. It's best to have a manure sample analyzed for its nutrient content to have the most accurate data to work with. And if you're calculating manure application rates for an Act 38 nutrient management plan, manure analyses are required. The nitrogen available in a manure sample depends on the nitrogen content of the manure, but also how it's applied, including what season it's applied in and how quickly it's incorporated into the soil. Once these pieces of information are known, it's possible to calculate the manure application rate that would exactly meet the nitrogen, phosphorus, or potassium requirements of the crop. However, farmers don't always apply that exact rate. They might apply something lower than the nutrient balanced application rate because of how their spreader is calibrated or the amount of manure they have available to spread. Rather, the nutrient balanced manure application rate helps the farmer select a planned rate that doesn't exceed the nutrient balanced rate. After the most appropriate planned rate is determined for the situation, you calculate the available nutrients that are applied in that rate of manure and subtract that from the nutrients required by the crop. The quantity of nutrients still required after the manure application can be met with supplemental fertilizer. The process I've just described is often referred to as calculating a nutrient balance for a field. In Pennsylvania, we've developed a template for doing these calculations that we call a nutrient balance sheet. This template helps you work through the calculations and keep track of the numbers in a logical order. It's kind of like doing tax returns for your manure. But you don't need to use one of these templates to do the calculations. If you understand the process, you can do the calculations on a blank piece of paper or the back of an envelope or even on a napkin. Nutrient balance sheets are widely used in different regulatory programs, and there are various tools and formats available for completing them. But the calculations are all done in the same way. You can use nutrient balance sheets in a manure management plan, where there is a paper workbook to guide you through the calculations. There's also a new module for developing nutrient balance sheets in the online PA One-Stop platform. Manure brokers and haulers regulated under Act 49 also need to fill out nutrient balance sheets for the manure they handle and apply. Act 49 balance sheets can be developed by hand on a paper worksheet or by using a specially designed spreadsheet tool that automates the calculations and creates a summary report for multiple field scenarios. Finally, an Act 38 nutrient management plan, at its core, is really just a series of nutrient balance calculations for each field on a farm. In an Act 38 plan, the nutrient balance calculations are handled in a specially designed spreadsheet that keeps track of all the manure generated and used on a farm. So that's an overview of the nutrient balance sheet concept. In the following series of videos, you'll learn how to do the calculations and complete a nutrient balance sheet step by step. In the first video, we'll discuss how to determine the crop nutrient requirements and nutrients that are available regardless of manure applications. In the second video, we'll discuss how to determine available nutrients in the manure and calculate a nutrient balanced manure application rate. In the final video, we'll discuss how to select a planned manure rate, how to calculate the nutrients applied in the planned manure rate, and then determine the need, if any, for supplemental fertilizer. So let's get started. I'll see you in the next video.